Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. I'm really sorry I'm late. It's not my fault. I'll explain everything. So yes, we are live, and I am using some new software. I'm actually using OBS for the very first time, which is why the aspect resolution is probably not about right now. But can I get a sound check, please, from the chat, just because I haven't used this software yet, and because I haven't got an FLV converter due to messy stuff. It's not been perfect. Anyway, gotta get a sound check and all of that stuff, just so we can get us started, and then we'll get on with the stream. And I'm just gonna go and put a light on because it's gonna get very dark very fast. Much better. Right, welcome to the stream. We have a chat. Sounds good. Good. Right, yeah. Sound a little bit echoey. Yeah, the reason it's a little bit echoey is probably because I've not got any headphones plugged in. I'm just using the speaker microphone, mainly because when I plug in my headphones, it says there's no difference. Right, to explain what's happened, because Remlace was asking, how it works in my house, don't ask, is that my house phone is tied to my internet. So when the house phone rings, the internet goes off. Now that happened at 7:05, and then it happened again at 7:10. It came back very quickly, and then it went again. And then it went for a long time, and I actually had to go and turn my internet box off and on again just to get the bloody thing working. So I have my internet back, obviously, because I'm streaming, but I had to go and turn the internet off and on again. It's not like dial-up. No, it's proper Wi-Fi. I don't know all the details because it's my parents' system, it's not mine. Since we got this Wi-Fi, it's kind of, I think the people who run our box also run the internet. Sorry, also run the phone line and all that stuff. So it is all one account, but it's I don't know. I don't know. It just happened, and we don't know why. Probably we're going to speak to the internet company about it before too long, but it's never really bothered my parents because it only ever happens when I'm in the house, because I'm on my own. And we're not on Virgin. We're not allowed to have Virgin around here. We don't have cable. You do not get cable around here. If you ring my house, then you'll kill the stream and you'll earn the enmity of everybody here. So, anywho, yes, welcome to the live stream. Now, I want to talk about Age of Sigmar. Alright, can we calm down for 5 seconds? Age of Sigmar is kind of important to me, and I know it's not to you lot. I can't talk about Adeptus Podcastus because, well, Alexis wanted to touch it with a 10-foot barge pole and everything else. And it is a thing that I know not a lot of people listen to over 40k. But I do want to talk about it because, well, right now we have the new General's Handbook and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think it's about the right time to talk about it. Of course, we'll also be doing all of the 40k stuff. We'll be doing a proper live Q&A because I want to make this a proper Q&A and all of that stuff. Oh yes, the new Nurgle Snail. I've forgotten his name off the top of my head right now. Let me just drop my phone out of the internet to take the strain off. What's his name? I have forgotten his name from the Blight War. Horticulus Slimax. Wow, okay. Yeah. I haven't actually had a proper look at the model, but it does look really quite cool. And it will make probably... I'm trying to think what it would be a good proxy for 40k. Like a Herald of Nurgle on Palanquin makes the most sense. Yeah, Horticulus, that's the one. It's not got the O, I don't think. Minotaurs. No particular opinion on the Minotaurs. Haven't done them in 40k stories. Maybe one day. Also, yes, I'm going to be eating chocolate pretty much throughout this stream. Deal with it. So yeah, first off, if you're okay, let's clear this up. I'm going to be starting with AoS. If you have a problem fundamentally with AoS, this is your cue to leave. What do I think of the Blood Ravens? Cool, very cool in principle. Not a huge opinion. Should I continue working my Egyptian-themed Stormcast army? Why not? Stormcast are fun, and with the way the new General's Handbook works with alliances, it's now a really good time to be getting into lots of little armies. So having Stormcast. So for example, with the, what do you call it? The new Allies boxes, the armies of the great cities, which are coming out. We have armies that are a block of, let's say, Free Peoples, Dispossessed, and it's Scourge Privateers with a little bit of Stormcast, and that allows you to make a little alliance. My AoS army, personally, is a mix of Dark Elves. I kind of have High Elves and Dark Elves, both, but I prefer to play Dark Elves in AoS. So my main army is Daughters of Cain, which is the Witch Elf faction, but I'm also sort of thinking of rotating between them, Scourge Privateers, and I think they're called Drakespawn Knights. So, Witch Elves, Corsairs, and Cold Ones, effectively. Has the fluff gotten any good? The fluff is... I don't know the fluff particularly well. I haven't really had a chance to read. However, we're hoping to do an AoS lore series on the channel in a very similar manner to 40k Stories. It won't be mine. I won't be personally making it because I'll be focusing on 40k Stories and, well, France. But I believe the fluff has definitely gone place and is very well written if you read the Realmgate Wars. I don't know how fleshed out it is, but through the Battle Tomes and the Realmgate Wars series, we're going the right way. Definitely. And the current system, I think it's part of the next stage is the campaign in the Realm of Fire. And that's where the great cities come from. It's in armies in the Realm of Fire. Yeah, France. I'm leaving the country in 9 days, and I'm going to be going away for the entire year to France. Channel's going to keep going, but just needed you to know about that. I personally will not be doing AoS lore because I need to focus on 40k Stories and Uni. So I can't do two things at once. Like 2 full series is just too much for me to ask myself to do on top of learning physics in French and all of that stuff. I don't want to put the pressure on for me. However, if one of my friends, I think Kieran, is hoping to do it, that would be good. We're hoping to do that. We can't promise it though. All I'm aware of that cities have been established outside of Azir by the Stormcast and their allies. That's pretty much the case, yes. So there's 3 cities in the Realm of Fire that you're going to be playing around with. Anvilgard, Hammerfall, and a third one. Empire Dispossessed and Corsairs, Scourge Privateers. So that's the first basis, but they are now doing Blight War, which is the thing with the Slug guy, which is hopefully going to give us another look at a different side of the lore, like what Chaos is now up to going forward. And hopefully we'll get more battle tomes and all of that stuff, and that'll be really good. No, I won't. As I've said before, straining myself, sure, I could probably, if I really push myself, do it, but I don't want to do that. It's a simple case of I don't want to, because if I do, then something will suffer. Something will suffer. And I don't want that to be the channel, because that doesn't help you, and I don't want it to be my degree, because that's what matters the more to me. Lore-wise, how can I make a Sphinx work in a Stormcast army as a lightning creature? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Not sure how you'd make it look, but that's an interesting idea. So who won the Realmgate Wars? I believe it's just we're at a new state of equilibrium. I don't know what the result is, but I know Chaos has gone backwards. Because, as far as I'm aware, AoS-wise, there was the age, the glory age, the golden age, if you want a better word. I think it's the age of glory or something, which is like everybody lived in peace. Sigmar, Gork and Mork, Nagash, everybody was allied. I think Gork and Mork went rogue eventually. And then Chaos came along, that was the age of Chaos, and they swept everybody aside. Nagash turned on Sigmar, and Sigmar was forced all the way back to Azir, which is the realm of heavens. And Chaos basically took the entirety of the mortal realms over otherwise. And then Sigmar formed a Stormcast, or had begun to create the Stormcast from the greatest mortal champions, and is now pushing back out, and that's the age of Sigmar. Where they're exactly at, we're not sure, and I personally haven't read enough of the fluff to know. But that, I think, is the basic place of where we're at. Would you like some Eldar or human faction, maybe Space Marines forming something like the Tau Enclave? So a breakaway Eldar or human faction, or something like that. How do you mean? So like joining the Tau, or doing something similar? Could a non-imperial human faction based ideologically on Rapture work? I'm not hugely up on Bioshock, but as far as I'm aware, Rapture is a sort of no gods, no masters, man is dominant over all type thing. Every man must choose for himself. Would it work? Potentially, but the Imperium would then go and smash it in the face. Who is the new Warlord of the Beast after Kazarak One-Eye died during the end times? Basically, everybody died. We haven't really had much of a look at the Beastmen, the Bray Herd and the War Herd particularly much. They haven't got any named characters right now because they don't have a battle tome. Named characters aren't really a thing anyway now. They're all just plot-created characters, and I personally haven't looked into the Beastmen to see where they're at. I believe the Sagittarian and Aquilon Custodes will be added to 40k. I'd be amazed if they weren't. It's very rare these days, particularly with like cross armies like Sisters and Custodes. Everything that's in 40k will end up, that's in 30k for them will end up in 40k. I'm almost sure of that. What if the Empire entered the Industrial Revolution? It kind of already had. It was at the beginning of the Steam Age because it had the steam tank. It had rifles and crossbows and cannons. It had started. Don't worry about the uni thing. It'll all work out before you succeed in the focusing on the child. Yeah, that's basically my logic. On tabletop, Beastmen are decent with Centaur charges and Cygor rock throwing. The two are sort of split now. So the Cygors on the Minotaur side and Centaurs, I believe, are on, or Centigor, I believe they're called, are on the Bray Herd side. But I'm not. They do look good. War Herd. Thoughts on the new Black Talon model? Oh, what does she look like? I know what she looks like loosely, but I cannot remember exactly. Sorry, just need to go and remind myself. There we go. Yeah, that's a decent model. That is a decent model. I think I prefer a helmet off to on because the hair adds another dimension. Right, where were we? Thinking of making the armor rusted metal, so bronze with verdigris, as the rock a sandstony color with lightning across the cracks. Basically, if the sand, yeah, you basically want to make it animated earth, for want of a better thing. How would Empire railroads change? Faster transport networks are always good, but you'd have to level the forest, and that means you have to run into the beachfront. Bear in mind, however, if we're talking about fantasy now, bear in mind the old world is gone. I think I need to stress that for anybody who's confused. The old world, the Empire, Ulthuan, Nagaroth, Lustria, is all gone, if you don't know. So asking questions about the fantasy universe is kind of a moot point, because the fantasy universe is dead. It's dead. Can you read out all the grand illusions for the Flesh Eater Courts? I probably could. I mean, I have a copy of the Flesh Eaters Battle Tome. And the Flesh Eaters is kind of the army I want, other than my elves. Like, if it weren't for the fact that the elves, I kind of had a huge army of them already, I'd probably create Fallout Flesh Eater Courts. I've discussed this on stream. I discussed this on stream like a year ago when I started streaming. Where are these grand illusions, anywho? Oh, this is going to take too long. It's going to take too long. I'd rather read the chat. Oh, great, the Space Wolf's here. Not in Total War. Yeah, Total War's a different thing because AoS's lore isn't really set around Total War. It wouldn't really work. But yeah, TW2 is still a thing. The old world is practically a lump of ore for the Stormcast, but to be fair, old world is still relevant in Total War. Yeah, if you're playing Total War, bear in mind that's all set in the past because Malekith is now fused with his dragon and all that stuff. Just a thing. I love when my phone's trying up. I understand the sci-fi franchise like 40k of the militaries use World War I and II tech. We discussed that on stream before. The answer is I don't know. I assume because it looks relatable and they don't understand full modern military tactics perfectly themselves. I don't know. I'm guessing. Well, the new General's Handbook. I don't have the General's Handbook yet. Kieran will be picking it up very damn soon, but I personally haven't got a copy of the new General's Handbook, I'm afraid. How's the stream? Stream is healthy. Is my French good enough for next year? Every time I talk in French, the chat gets annoyed, so I'm not going to do it. But I did an exam, sort of a quick little test that the EU make you do before you go, and I got basically a grade 5 out of 7. So I'm not perfect, but I'm okay. I can read the news. I can write relatively. My reading is really strong, and my listening is pretty strong. So if someone's reading, if I'm being to read something or I'm being talked at, I'm fine. My grammar's a little bit flimsy in places, and my vocab's a little bit flimsy in places, so I don't know like all the words and all the constructions. But I know how to, well, survive, and I'll get better and better as the year goes on. That's half the point. How big at handbook liking the multiplayer rules? Okay, yeah, that's kind of fun. Wow, what's a change? Oh, you mean because I didn't speak in French? Yeah, I dropped the odd French word in during a sentence, but I don't literally speak at you guys in French. Come on. A good 40k Total War, would you be interested? 40k doesn't suit Total War, not in the slightest. Everything's got ranged weapons. Wouldn't work. Liking the multiplayer rules. Yeah, I think between Triumph and Treachery is back. That does look like kind of fun. The one that I was most excited for is the fact that narrative play is a proper thing. And siege battles. Like, siege battles, can we just have those in 40k, please? Like, siege battles are awesome. Because you aren't perfect. I have never claimed to be perfect at anything. I am not perfect at anything. I've never claimed to be perfect. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'm definitely not perfect. If you've seen my old lore videos, they're garbage. They're absolutely garbage. Secret objectives for multiplayer. Yeah. Some military theorists speculate that nations, when they have excess manpower, the High Command takes advantage of that and relies on World War I tactics instead of stagnation because of excess. Interesting. Wasn't Stronghold Assault just siege battles in 40k? Sort of. I mean, between Planet Strike and Stronghold Assault, you get something, but they're not dedicated siege battles, as far as I'm aware. And yes, my dice rolls do prove I'm not perfect, because god damn it, did you see them on Monday? The issue before we get to Total War isn't the ranged weapons. We've had ranged weapons in Total War. The problem is more to do with the scale and extra dimensions of the battles than just infantry and cavalry. Yeah, when you add in tanks and jump infantry, it probably gets even more complicated. I just don't think it would work. I'm not a huge player of Total War. So, like, I know how Total War functions. Like, I've seen a lot of Rome 1 and Medieval 2, and I've seen Total Warhammer 1 and 2 very briefly, but I'm not an expert. Nurgle army in a siege game. Oh, good point. Death Guard are unholy tough. No, you're not getting me good dice, because good means weighted, and no. Yeah, this was a lot less stress on my CPU. This is good. Yeah. Yes, OBS, you have done your job. I can actually stream in like... What am I streaming in? 720? I'm not sure what I'm streaming in. But I've got a decent frame rate and not a terrible quality. I just wish it would auto fit. Any large-scale battle video game for 40k probably wouldn't work. Well, there was a Tactica. I think there was a game based on Epic one time, which I don't know how good that was because I never played it. But I think handled correctly, it might work. But yeah, hard to know. Hard to know. Why do I get bad rolls often then? Baptized in the holy... No. Just no. Nope. Yeah, Ben's doing a deck again. If the Slanesh that worked with Sigvald is the same as the one that worked with Fulgrim, is the Great Horn Rat technically in 40k? Right. This is a theory that AoS and 40k are the same universe. Or the same Chaos Gods. And it's kind of one of those weird ones. because nobody crosses over aside from the 4 big guys. You don't see Archeon in 40k, for example. The gods and their demons are both the same across both universes. Like the Chaos gods and Chaos demons, like Scarbrand and co. They're present across both, which makes you think, oh, right, they're the same universe. We don't know. And I think it depends on how you want to interpret it. You could say that the Mortal Realms is a separate dimension that Chaos has also encroached on. You could say it's a precursor. You could say it's a post-universe. You could say whatever you like, really. So it's up to you. Is the Great Horn Rat not a god? The Great Horn Rat was/is the god of the Skaven. Does Malerion work for... Malerion doesn't have any rules. Malekith, the Witch King, as in the role Malekith had before the Age of Sigmar, is a thing, and I've never used it myself. But Malerion doesn't have rules yet. The Dice Gods reside in the warp. The Tau have a non-existent warp presence. As a result, Tau get no help from the god, the exception being Farsight at times. I was playing Farsight. Your argument is invalid. The next step for a Stormcast is either a Sphinx or some of the monsters that I'll paint to match the theme. Just no idea which one to choose. I do like the War Sphinx. And if you're matching up to Stormcast, it does need to be quite metallic-y or stone-based. So, options. Feelings on the Dark Angels. Not my favourite. Intriguing. I think intriguing is a good word for the Dark Angels. Why are Norsemen's Hollywood Vikings? Because archetypes. They were written that way. Thoughts on the new Death Guard and Mortarion. I like the look of them. Mortarion's the exception. He's a bit meh on the model for Mortarion. But the Death Guard themselves look really cool. As to how good they'll be, I don't know. Why do the Tau hate Farsight? They don't. They think he's dead. The Ethereals hate Farsight because he ditched them and is doing well without them. But the general populace think he's dead. That's the way it works. That's the myth that's been perpetuated. Whether they still think that, we'll have to wait to the 8th edition codex. How far east will Total War 3 go? Well, they've done Sylvania, haven't they? They went as far east as Sylvania, like it was the old world. Now they're doing the new world. That kind of covers most of the major races. Total Warhammer 3, I'm not even sure if there will be one. Ooh, the Sepulchral Stalkers. Yeah. The date is wrong? Oh, god damn it, it's the 25th. Sorry. Yeah, it's the 25th. Sorry. I keep thinking the weekend is the 25th and 6th. I'm sorry, my fault. In the Death of the Old World Omnibus, Queek says the future of Skaven is beyond the moon. Yeah, they're digging through the Mortal Realms now. I feel like GW didn't play out the whole Grim Reaper motif for the model. In fact, his scythe is pretty much barely noticeable. I think the problem is that they kind of they didn't go all in on Demon Mortarion, like they did with Magnus, or they will do with Angron or Fulgrim, but he's still kind of got his human edge, but he doesn't look human enough to be Mortarion. He's just kind of this weird thing in the middle. Silence looks cool, the gun looks cool, I quite like the bug wings. Not everybody does, but I do. The head just needs to go. Oh, congratulations on getting your results. I won't pry into it, but congratulations. Oh, we are getting a 3. Oh, we are, right. No idea. I'll be interested to see where they go with it. Because they've covered all of the main races now. Haven't they? Bretons, Orcs, Goblins, Dwarves. They've had no Wood Elves. We haven't had Wood Elves, have we? So they could work around Athel Loren, something like that. Do you think GW forcing things claiming that so many chapters accept the Primaris when so many would, in my mind, resist them as aberrations? The Dark Angels would have no problem with it because got to keep quiet. I am a little concerned that we're going to eventually see the end of basic, what do you call them? Of basic Marines eventually, but it's going to take a while. Oh, we have had ones. Yeah, they were a DLC. They were DLC. Sorry, I only saw a playthrough of the base game. I didn't see the DLC. My bad. Mortarion will probably be vastly improved if painted right. He may well be better if painted right, actually. You may have a point. It could just be the paint scheme. Pass well, back on track. Need more infantry. Well, Stormcast has plenty of infantry. Plenty of infantry. Ranged, melee, they've got everything. Why does the Great Horn Rat not have any lesser demons? Because it wasn't really a fully fledged Chaos God until now. maybe when the Chaos, maybe when the Skaven, like the Warlord clans, get a redo, we might see something like that. Will Chaos Warriors be a thing? Not for a while, we don't believe. My day was good, thank you. My day was good. Busy, full on, been making phone calls to insurance companies and stuff, but it's been good. What if the Empire domesticated and bred demigriffs and griffins? Didn't they do that? Isn't that how the demigriff knights came to be? Weren't they bred specifically for the job? I forget. Favourite and least favourite things about the Dark Angels? Favourite thing, Cypher's pretty cool, and they've got an interesting story arc. Least favourite thing, hard to know. Like, I don't really have like oh, this is the best thing about them, this is the worst thing about them. I just have an overall opinion. Mortarion versus Typhus. Yeah, Typhus has never given a flip about Mortarion. He ditched him like immediately. If you go back to like my Typhus lore video, I mentioned this. Who would win in a fight? Probably still Mortarion, but hard to know. Mace Mortarion said with a Mark III helmet or the FW Death Guard helm, have to agree the oversized gas mask is obnoxious. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Roman themed. Oh, that sounds fun. They're tamed. If they're tamed, then they can. Once they're tamed, they can be bred. Surely. Yeah, I feel like the demigriffs might be tamed. Not sure. Not tamed is different to domesticated. Domesticated, I don't think you can ever domesticate a demigriff. But once you got them tamed, you could breed them. Couldn't you? Now you're done with Legion, will you start doing chapter? Well, I covered the brief bits of the chapters when I did all the Loyalist Legions. I'm not planning to go over the nine big guys again. Not in the short term, anyway. Because, well, no. I've done them in the Legion, and that set them up. I'm probably not going to cover them in the modern era, because it's a lot more disjointed, I think is a good word. Because, like, there's a lot less like fluff building, because all the building in the background to the Legion in the chapter comes from the Heresy era days, and how they are is based on their Primarch and all of that stuff. So it was more relevant to discuss it in the Legion series than do it in the chapter series, because I ended up spending so much time talking about the Heresy that I may as well just talk about the entire thing for the Heresy. Maybe Mortarion will get another head option. That would be nice. Could a Telltale Games 40k game work? No, I don't think so. I couldn't really say why, but no. Opinions on cultist options with bits to make them clearly aligned to a specific god. That could be fun, maybe. Khaldor Drago is really the Celestant Prime. That is quite a wild theory. I've heard stupider, but that's pretty wild. Would you do more Sigmar lore? The reason I haven't done Sigmar lore is because I haven't got the books. If I had the books and I had the time to read them and do all the research like I could for 40k stories, I absolutely would if I had the time to make the videos. I don't have the money or the time for any of those things right now. So I'm going to focus on 40k stories. We're going to try and get AoS lore, but it won't be done by me. Okay? I'll make you that deal. I, Michael, will not be doing AoS lore. That is not to say there will not be AoS lore on Tactica Imperialis. I just can't promise anything. And it won't be from me. Okay? Stupider. I say stupider all the time. Stupider and stupider. I say it a lot. How large can road trader fleets get? I don't think there's a number on it. Or if there is, I haven't seen it. Demigriffs breeding is probably like panda breeding. The problem is they don't instinctively know how. Yeah, without the genetic engineering of our world, the old world would have trouble. Does Malice constantly just grow in power? He's the god of chaos, and that's 40k in a nutshell. I'm not an expert on Malice. Go give Romulus a grilling on that one. Yeah, stop thinking of army ideas, because you'll get too far ahead of yourself. It's not my catchphrase. I don't really have a catchphrase, but I probably do sort of come across. I do have a little few things I say, like different story, different day comes up a lot. If I'm going off on a tangent, I double back by saying that. Love to see lore videos of lesser known guard regiments, like everyone has a video of Krieg, but elite. Yeah, option. The Elysian drop troops would be fun. Like I say, I'll do. Well, I'm not like I say. I will probably cover the what do you call it? The guard regiments eventually. I'll do a video on the Astra Militarum, and I'll cover some of the minor regiments. So I will, let's say, I'll get a paragraph dedicated to Elysia. I'll get a paragraph on the Warhawks. But because I don't think they're going to be enough to get a full long video, because you've noticed 40k stories have been getting longer and longer. Not by choice, really. Well, partly by choice, because I've had to slow down my speaking. You'll notice this in future videos. I've slowed my speaking down. So it's one of those things where I kind of like having a lot of detail to go in, to have the chance to go into a huge amount of detail, and sometimes you can't do that with the minor factions. So I might do an overarching Astra Militarum video, like why the Astra Militarum is the way it is, how it operates, recruitment, the Munitorum, and then I'll do a few famous regiments of renown, and then separately I'll do Cadia, Katachan, maybe I'll do Vostroya in the little one, I think, and that sort of thing. Why did I want to do the Death Corps? The reason was I wanted something to tie into the Death Guard. So if you look through 40k stories very carefully and you look at the running order, you might notice that a lot of episodes kind of chain together. So what did I do before the Death Corps? I did the Salamanders before the Death Corps. They work a lot with fire. The Death Corps burned everything in nuclear fire. They also toxified and polluted their world to hell to the point of near uninhabitability. What did the Death Guard do? They cleansed worlds in toxic stuff and made it uninhabitable. And that links into the Salamander because they're both quite similar, but rather than using cleansing flame, they use corrupting toxic flame. And so I wanted it to sort of chain together. That's the idea, and that's where the Death Corps came in. Plus they're cool, and I wanted to cover them anyway. If Nagash enters the 40k universe with described is a god of death. Yes. Gods of death would do very well. Was Sigmar not putting in a dynastic royal family a good idea? Well, sort of, because it allows him to have a government, if he wanted to, a council, and stuff. Do you have passions in life besides Warhammer? Yeah. I play rugby for my university, my department for physics at university. I play the trombone. I haven't played it in a while because I haven't had to go back to band, but I did play in a brass band for a good number of years, and I still technically do. I've got my French, which is a sort of, I don't know if you call it a passion, but it's definitely an interest of mine. And I'm really into jazz music, jazz, soul, and I've really got into electro swing of late. I don't know what the war game is going to be like. I'm not taking my hobby with me to France for transport reasons. Thoughts on the new Black Legion book? I have yet to read it. Hopefully I'll get around to it eventually, but I've yet to read it. Favourite place I've played on the Tron? I remember when I went to play for Grindthorpe Youth Band. Grindthorpe Colliery Band, for those who don't know, are one of the best brass bands in the country. They are the band behind the film Brassed Off. If anyone's ever heard of Brassed Off, if you live anywhere too far south, you probably haven't. But if you've heard of Brassed Off, the band they used to play in that were Grindthorpe. And they organised a youth band. And they got in this really famous conductor, his name's gone out of my head right now. They got this famous conductor in to do it for us. And I was lead trombone. Well, I was second to lead trombone, but the guy next to me was not the best socially, so I did all the talking. And we had a trombone feature of I don't know what the official name of the song is, but it's the song. It's about I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, and all that song. I'm sure some of you know that song, particularly probably I think it's in Sister Act. I'm 90% it's in Sister Act. So we played that, and we played that as a feature, as a section at Sheffield City Hall in a live concert in front of a crowd of people. And he and I had a little bit of banter. He was sort of like having a little jab at me, and I was playing the sort of rebellious head trombone because the trombones are supposed to be the rebellious section in the band. And we nailed it as a section, and it was, oh, that was so much fun. Right, the person who asked, no, I do not like metal music. Metal music is too loud and thrashy. I prefer elegant rhythms, like the sax. Oh, the saxophone is the best sound. Where do I see myself in, say, 3 or 5 years? In 3 years' time, where will I be? I'll be 1 year out of uni and I'll hopefully, maybe, just qualified as a physics teacher. That's kind of one of the plans I've got right now. 5 years' time, if that pans out, I'll be in a school teaching and I'll still be on Tactica Imperialis if I can help it. I don't plan on this channel to go anywhere, okay? Should be all good. Favorite Eldar craft world? Probably Sigmar. I'm not an expert on the Eldar craft worlds. I've covered them in lore, but I did that more generally than looking into them all in depth. I didn't look at all of them. Sigmar's pretty cool. But then again, I like everything that's red. I really like armies in red, have you noticed? Is a 40k RPG possible? Possible, yes. Feasible, not so sure. Sigmar is a shard of the Emperor. Heard that theory. Oh, I'm sorry. Shard of the Emperor. Not a terrible idea. Just, I don't like when Ben sends me links in the chat. I'm scared. I'm scared, chat. I'm scared. Open a new tab. Oh, Epic Sax guy. Right. Epic Sax guy. Yeah, I actually got a remix of Epic Sax guy on my Spotify. I've got a remix of it. I forget who did it, but it's actually pretty good. With GW being important, writing new things and continuing the plot without rushing everything, what do you think they will try to do next? Well, one, generally their writing's pretty good. Their plot has been pushed a bit too fast, but now they're bulking out. The reason they needed to do that was probably just to get everything ready for 8th edition. That was all. So as for where they're going to go next, well, we need to fill in the gaps that we were left with Gathering Storm and going into 8th edition. So let them fill in the gaps. What they'll think I'll try and do next, beyond filling the gaps, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't really want to second guess because, well, apparently fan theories get canned because GW doesn't want the fans trying to claim they were their idea and thus cause problems. Yeah. Have I heard of the rumor was cured by Armin? Yes, Helio Isidorus. That was done by, if I remember, casting the rubric again. So, it's a pretty hefty job to get one back. What vehicles did the Thousand Suns use? They used a lot of jet bikes and flyers. They had a lot of flyers and a lot of jet bikes because they relied a lot on fast reconnaissance. I know that. Reconnaissance was their thing. If you have an access to Heresy Book 7, then read in there. It does give you a lot of structure. They don't generally do a lot of armor. They have everything they need to function in that situation, but they had a bit more use for flyers and jet bikes and land speeders in more formations because they wanted to do quick reconnaissance and that sort of thing. Who's him? How much? Oh, that's Helio Isidorus, right. We don't know anything what happened to him after. He's just back now. Just a thing. He's back. Favorite 40k book? Ooh. I really enjoy Hell's Reach. Hell's Reach is a great read. I definitely think that Hell's Reach is good. Commissar, Baneblade, those two stick in my head as always being good ones that I read. I've read Death Watch a couple of times. That was good. Firecast, I used that as a reference for English coursework. Least favourite? I haven't read a bad one yet. Honestly, I haven't read a bad one. How could you cheese a 30k armor to make everybody use it in 40k? Rewrite its entire rules because 30k and 40k are no longer compatible. Have you not noticed? How large do you think Black Dragon Primaris rings will be? Well, the thing with the Primaris is they're pretty much cured of all the defects, so they don't have the Canis Helix problem and the Wolfen issue, they don't have the Red Thursday issue, so they'll probably not be mutated like the normal Black Dragons. Probably. You brought this on yourself, Ben. I have no sympathy. Will the Primaris Marines eventually turn traitor? Not soon. Eventually, I think they'll go there, but I don't think they're going to go there just yet. I don't. We know that there are black salamander. Now, the difference with that, that's a reaction. That's not a genetic defect. There's a difference. That's the radiation of Nocturne reacting with their skin. That's the radiation reacting to their gene seed, and that's what turns the salamanders black. Like, fully jet black with the burning red eyes. I think it's the combination of the radiation in their gene seed, as opposed to an actual genetic defect, I think. What game idea was this? If you give the Emperor a gift, what would this gift be? What do you give the man who has everything? Apart from give him his life back. Thoughts on The Exorcist? Cool concept. The idea of like being possessed and then exorcising demons and having 2 extra scout companies just to keep up the recruitment rate. Interesting idea. Haven't looked again too hard into them, but they're an interesting idea. Don't know any people to play with, don't know where to buy the products and finance. Well, if you don't know where to buy the products, just get them off the internet and go onto Games Workshop's website and order them direct. I can't help you with the opponents there. Do you think we'll get an Arbites army? No. I think the Arbites will be in Necromunda eventually. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. But I don't think there's enough of them, and they sort of don't operate across the galaxy. They're sort of contained to a world in a way. They're not quite the same operating system as everybody else. Lifetime supply of gold spray paint, book on parenting. Well, if he was a father, that would be a good place to start. Roll the start of turns for each unit on a certain number, they turn into Wolfen for the rest of the game. Oh yeah, that. It's not, I think I discussed this with you at the time, it's not a terrible idea. You'd have to work on balancing it more than just that, because Wolfen are very, very powerful, I suspect, but not a bad idea. Back to AoS, it would be a good idea to work around Europe and make Stormcast armies for them. Greece, Persia, Germany, why not? I mean, cities, countries, why not? Has Cole created any Primaris Marines with Traitor Primarch Gene Seed? No. He wants to. He really wanted to, because, well, why not? And I believe Gilliman said, no, you're not doing that. I believe. As far as I'm aware, he wanted to use the Lost and the Traitor ones, Gene Seed to make the Primaris as well as the Loyalist ones, and Gilliman just shut him down, I believe. How would 40k Skaven look in your opinion in lore and game? In lore, they'd basically be exactly the same thing. They're just a huge verminous empire that are almost impossible to put down. And in game, well, we've got Horde armies already. Favourite 40k character outside of the Primarchs? Question. Oh. Farsight. Farsight or Wazdaka Gutsmack? Sorry, I was thinking about Space Marines. Specifically Space Marines. Farsight or Wazdaka, every time. Only concern is the idea of the fear of sameness, like Greek and Roman. Yeah, I could see that, because they operate... I'm not an expert on Greek and Roman military, but yeah, sort of. That's not even funny. How do you think Carter Sicarius will die? Hopefully in some completely embarrassing and ignominious way, because, well, reasons, but... Somehow, I don't think they're going to be killing him anytime soon. I like orcs with gameplay elements from the Gene Stealer cult. Yeah, I could see that. Use Skaven Clan Pestilence as Death Guard Poxwalkers. Worth an option if you don't have access to the Poxwalker models. Yeah, we get a downside for it. Let me let's charge. The downside is being their BS drops to... Wolfen don't have guns. Have you not noticed? Oh, they succumb to the curse, but they keep their weapons, not transform into Wolfen. Right. Oh, right. Sorry, got the wrong end of the stick. Eliphas... I think Eliphas does canonically die. I thought that if you defeat Chaos in Dark Crusade, Eliphas canonically dies. He's killed by the Demon Prince, isn't he? So unless Chaos canonically won Dark Crusade, which I don't believe they did, Eliphas dies, doesn't he? Or have I got that wrong? Somebody fill me in. Beat you to the punch. Standard stuff. Really embarrassing, the tripping over a rock. Will they make Space Marine name characters into Primaris? They might. Not all of them, but they might. I don't subscribe to memes, so go away. Asking about memes because I don't. The Soul of Elphas is brought back in Dawn of War 2 Chaos Rising. Oh. Didn't know that. Playing an Adversary as part of an Imperial Assault Army? Well, it makes sense. Fantasy lore-wise, do you think a Frostblade Spear could kill a dragon with one hit? If you hit it in the right place? I suppose you went through the eye into the brain, that would work. Just stabbing it in the leg? No. It depends on where you stabbed it. What part of the Inquisition's orders fascinate you the most? God, I need to go back and look at the Inquisition lore now. Hang on. Inquisition. I have a terrible memory. Like, I do all this lore stuff and I remember most of it, but I always need to go back and double check stuff. The Ordo Originatus would be fun. Who work to try and find the Inquisition's origins, which is fun. So yeah, let's go with the Ordo Originatus. Let's go with that. Favorite breed of dog? I'm not particularly a dog person, I'm afraid. I'm not particularly a dog person. I'm not particularly an animal person in general. Oops, I just expanded the... No, I didn't want to do that. There we go. If you can make a Dawn of War game with a different chapter, Craft World, Tau set, and Traitor Legion Orc War Boss, what would you want? Don't particularly mind. Honestly, a change would be nice, but other than that, not fussed. I mean, I like Evil Sons. I like the Thousand Sons, but they don't have the unit variety to make it work. The Farsa Enclaves, you would be locked out from having anything ethereal based, so that wouldn't really work. Yeah. Fair enough. You might be able to turn some Dark Eldar vehicles into ships for the Greek idea. Ooh, I like that. And you could maybe use that as a carriage on Overlord's army instead of Stormcast. How much force is 200 gigatons? How many newtons? A ton is a unit of mass, not a unit of force. Yeah, a ton... Mass is measured... A ton is 1,000 kilograms, isn't it? Yeah, I think a ton is about 1,000 kilograms if you use imperial or metric. And then a gigaton is 10 to the 9, so that's 10 to the 12 kilograms. Times by 200, so 2 times 10 to the 14. A very big number. Alright, it's a very big ass number. 1,000 kilograms is a ton. Yeah, thought it was. A Demon Primarch form of Fulgur alongside new noise marines will be released in the future? Yes, absolutely. That's going to be a thing. On the drone wings, the Death Guard is declared Zrap Circus. It's in the rulebook. I need to look at that, maybe. Where are we up to? 50 minutes, okay. Well, 200 gigatons is a big-ass number. It's 2 times 10 to the 14. That's 2 with 14 zeros. I don't think I need to explain that that's a very, very big number. That's a really big number. I mean, what's the mass of the Earth? 6 times 10 to the 30? I think. Was it 6 times 10 to the 24? I forget. Will Gilliman ally officially with the Eldar or Tau? Probably not. Who has the best and worst written lore? Oh, God. There's a lot of really good written lore. Like, if you look at 40k stories, there's so much good lore in there. As for bad lore, I don't think much lore is written badly. It just, there's a lot of holes in it. That, I think, is... That's I think, what you class as bad lore, is just things that don't fit the canon and just have plot holes. The new 40k lore is not awful. The new 40k lore is lacking in detail. That, I think, is something that's worth noting. It's lacking in detail, but that's all I can say. As a result, it is the most full of holes lore of the moment right now, but realistically, it's a decent basis. It's a little bit weird if you're not used to it, but once you get used to the idea, it's not too bad. Who would you like to play 40k against from the other 40k YouTubers? I want to play Warwick, Commissar Warwick, because well, I've been a friend with him for years now. If I get a chance to play Alexis, that would be fun, although I'd probably get power gamed to crap. Well, my version of power gamed. Be fun to play like Striking Scorpion or Mini Wargaming, but that's a pipe dream. Favourite movie? Probably Shawshank Redemption. Probably Shawshank. Do you think we'll see more Free Peoples and Duardin released in AoS? Well, I think the Free Peoples kind of just got their rules for like a battle tome, like their allegiance abilities and stuff, so I wouldn't bank on them getting anything anytime soon. Same with Dispossessed. Will we see them? Probably. When? Don't know. This is the part where I wait for the chats. What am I eating? Galaxy counters. How many Dreadlords did a Legion have in 30k on average? I don't know, actually. It's not really stated. Ever. But I doubt it was any more than like 2 per company somehow. So a few hundred at most, I'd suspect. Current day chapter, do you think will turn traitor? The Blood Angels are not flipped because of Kabanda. Kabanda saved them. I think you need to remember that. The strangest thing that made you go, what the flip? There's a lot of things that have made me go, oh. There's a lot of things that have made me go, oh, right. I haven't actually done any what the flips at lore, but I've had a okay a few times. I can't think of one on the top of my head right now. If you change one thing about the Thousand Suns lore, what would it be? Well, the obvious answer is I'd retcon the entire burning of Prospero that it didn't happen, but I can't do that. What? Okay, good. Someone said the stream froze and I panicked. Phew, okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. You scared me. You scared me there, man. You scared me, my man. Right. Use Free People for my guard arm. I simply give them KD and arms. Yeah, that works. I'm guessing on a few hundred, by the way. It could have been a few dozen, I don't know. Yeah, I say what the flip. I don't swear on the channel 95% of the time. The only place I really swear is on the podcast. You just want the Thousand Suns to be completely loyal. I don't know. I kind of like the... If you look at the story arc objectively, if you try and look at the Thousand Suns story arc objectively, it is a really good story arc. It's the idea of like the tragic fallen hero who ended up being turned on by those he trusted and whose mistakes ultimately cost him. But when you're a Magnus fan, not so sure. Did I see the new Seraphon rules? No, I haven't got the General's Handbook yet, unfortunately. What's the best sort of biscuit? Chocolate digestive. I like the chocolate digestives. They're not technically loyal anymore. They're fully gone. They're fully gone. They spoiled it. Oh, they spoiled it. Oh, I haven't really looked. Let me check WHC. I might have a look at it now. Or maybe it was in the order thing. No, it wasn't in the order thing. Ooh, new FAQs. Ah. Oh. Oh, beautiful. Bitch battle profile, what is that? Oh, that's for playing with some stuff. Finally, they've updated the compendiums. Nice. Okay, there's a full set of FAQs and stuff for the General's Handbook, which is lovely. Did half of the Dark Angels Legion really go Tracer? Not fully half. I don't have the percentage, but I don't think it was fully half. What's the difference between the Butcher's Nails in Angron compared to the World Eaters? The ones in the World Eaters are basically, yeah, cheap knockoffs. They were retrofits of Angron's nails, basically. So everyone can now teleport anywhere on the tabletop. They could do that anyway. They basically all had Deep Strike because they were demons. Or you could summon them to do that anyway, couldn't you? Will Bretonnians ever come back in plastic, or are they over in the pit with Sisters in Half-Life 3? Sororitas will be back. I almost... it is borderline a meme at this point, but I'm sure the Sisters will be back. Can you talk Northern for the amusement of the English and confusion of everybody else? You realise I don't really have that much of a Northern accent, right? I generally try and talk without a Northern accent, deliberately. Plus, there ain't really a Northern accent. Like, I can talk a bit with a Barnsley accent, but it ain't great. Because I live in Manchester, I've got a bit of Mancunian back in my accent now. So, I can try and talk Northern, but God, no. No. Stop. It's done. C'est fini. The accent is pretty solid. Nope. Thinking about it, it's really surprising that Horus lost the heresy. Really, they lost for a few reasons. And I'll tell you one. If Gorfarin had killed Guilliman when he was supposed to, instead of trying and flipping corrupt him with the blooming anatheme, if he'd have just killed Guilliman there and then the Ultramarines were out. Imperium Secundus was out. And the difference of doing that, taking them out of the equation, means that Horus has got all the time in the world for the siege of the Imperial Palace, because there's nobody coming. Because that was why he had to rush, because the Ultramarines and the Dark Angels were out there. And the fact that they weren't going to be there, at least the Ultramarines certainly weren't, they were most of the problem, I suspect, due to the sheer numbers, meant that he had to rush. So, if he was gone, he could have taken his time and got through, instead of having to drop his Void Shields and ruin the whole bloody thing. So, everything's Gorfarin's fault. Alright? There you go. Also, so there was some great stalling in places like the Coronid Deeps, and stuff, and the Iron Warriors were pretty damn incompetent. I'm sorry. They were kind of incompetent. Like, seriously, their battlefield record in the Heresy is garbage. It's absolutely garbage. Like, we ambushed the Imperial Fists at Fal, and then nearly all died. Then we got lost in the Eye of Terror, and went to Talon, and we sort of lost. The Iron Warriors record was not great, and I know there's someone role-playing Perturago in the chat right now and he's about to kill me, but I'm sorry, it's just, you look at their combat record in the Heresy, it was trash, alright? I'm sorry. They lost because they lost the order that Chaos took from them. If they'd stayed marched the truth of the Warriors' Cousin Chain of Command, they would have remained organised enough to win. Possibly. Horus did lament, I believe, at one time that he got stuck with all the monsters and the lunatics. What is the best legion? Why is it the Thousand Suns? Is the answer to that question. The Imperial Fists are cool, and like I say, I've just covered them recently, so they are pretty cool, but yeah. I find it really weird that Erebus didn't become a demon prince. He basically triggered the whole heresy. Some demon princes only offered one world to the dark gods. I think part of the reason for that was to make sure that the word bearer still had a human agent leading them. Because Abaddon was offered it and turned it down, but I'm sure having, like, Erebus is more useful as a human than he is as a demon. Because if you notice with the traitor Primarchs, when they become demons, they sort of turn their back on the material realm. Mortarion, Lorgar, Perturabo, Angron, Fulgrim, they've all done it. They all did it. So having a human agent who is still facing outward, I suppose, into the material realm was probably more useful. Brazil is not the only nation that survived the Unification Wars. There was Frank, which is France, I believe. There are others. There are others off the top of my head. I think there was something to do with America. I forget if it was renamed. Britain was renamed. Albion. There were more than a couple. Wasn't the point of Abaddon forming the Black Legion to recreate the links of Brotherhood and Order of the Legion despite them being traitors and giving themselves to chaos? Yes, but we're talking about in the Heresy. Slan Star Masters get Masters of Order. Okay. Whatever that does. What's your plan now with the challenge you completed the Legion series? Will I be in chapter? I said this earlier in the stream, you must have missed it. I'm not planning to do the chapters anytime soon because I've just done the Legions. Tomorrow, spoiler alert, I'm giving you fair warning, tomorrow I'm doing the Adeptus Custodes. The Legio Custodes or the Adeptus Custodes, I'm doing them. I'm doing the Custodians. After that is the 10,000 subscriber special part 2, and then I'm going to do a bunch of other stuff on Terra, and then I'm going to leave the Sol system, cover a few things on the way out, and then we'll go from there. Will I cover the other chapters in future? Maybe. I should probably make a playlist for the Legion series. I should probably do that. That's a really good idea. I should really do that. Thank you. Yeah, that's a really good point. I might do that now, actually, while I remember. Yeah, I've got putting on the Ritz in my head, if you hadn't noticed. I know this place does not exist. I just created it. Yep, right, there we go. Add videos. Oh, by the way, while I'm doing this, I actually can't see the chat. So this is you brought this on yourselves, chat. I can't read the chat. Admech, Demon Princes. Here we go. Word Bearers, Night Lords. This is what happens when you do 3 videos a week. Iron Hands. Sons of Horus. Oh, well, I must have skipped a Monday there. Oh god, there's a big pile of stuff in there. Ultramarines. White Scars. World Eaters. Blood Angels. Alright, let's go read the chat for a minute. Yep. Unbind spells anywhere on the table. Initiate any doubles when casting spells. Add 6 into the spell's range. Ouch. Been a pain in the butt trying to enjoy the Legion stories without the other stuff. Sorry. Yeah, fair play. Games Workshop and World of Tanks Blitz are doing a partnership project. Really? I'd heard about the card game that was set in fantasy. I forget the company right now, but I hadn't heard about that. Would Necrons use human auxiliaries? Probably not. How will the Necrons storyline advance in 8th? I've honestly no idea. Favourite piece of art? Oh god, I don't even know. There's so much good art. It wasn't a thing. Opinions on the Pink Panther theme? Never played it, but it's a fun little theme and it's instantly recognisable. Anyway, keep scrolling. Raven Guard. Iron Warriors. Then it was Emperor's Children, rotating next into... Oh, what do we do after that? Emperor's Children into Alpha Legion, wasn't it? Oh no, it was Salamanders into Death Guard, then into Alpha Legion. Yeah, we went Gene Seed, then we went into Alpha Legion, then we went Wolves. Yeah, then no, it's Dark Angels, then we did Wolves. Sorry, I was trying to remember my own running order there because reasons. There you go. Add videos. So that should be 18 videos. Yeah. There you go. The entire Legions miniseries is now its own standalone playlist. You can thank me later. What I think of the Lamenters? Meh. Will I explore my own backstory someday? He's a Tower Earth cast Psyker. Yeah. And will I be expanding on it? Probably. Though, when? No idea. Yeah, the Silent King is back. That's from the 5th edition Codex. Oh. The light just flickered. The Silent King's been back to the 5th edition Codex. So yeah, he's back. And yes, the Tau Psyker is the cheesiest lore in 40k, but it is canon. It is canon. The edgiest of the Space Marine Legions was probably the Raven Guard. Or no, Night Lords maybe. Road Trader. I could add Road Trader to the list of things I should do. I have a content suggestions doobly-doo here somewhere. Content ideas. The Assassinorum. God, I've got a long-ass list here. Right. Do you know the Dune book series? Afraid not. I know you want a massive history buff, and I'm blanking on the Germanic tribes. Afraid not. Know nothing about that. And a description. There we go. Just put a little thingamabob there, and I'll tweet that out later. The Thousand Sons were to ever become loyal again. Who will accept them back into the Imperium? Nobody. Throne's sake, don't overwork yourself. What do you mean? I manage. It could be the Raven Guard. You could argue it either way. I forgot the Night Lords for a second. No super chat. Right. Alright, super chat. I will direct you. I'll answer that later. I will direct you to my channel update, which is the featured video on the channel right now for new subscribers, for new visitors. So the channel update from a couple of weeks ago, the 10,000 subscriber channel update. Basically, there is not to be any super chat or Patreon or anything right now. I'll explain why in there. Save me having to do it again here. If you Alexa and Laser all were chopped on, who would survive the longest? I don't even know. I actually remember watching that video. Yeah, sorry. Admittedly, I explicitly talked about Patreon, but it applied to Super Chat as well. Have I seen the screenshots from the new 30k movie Lost Hope? No, I actually haven't. And saying "Oi, answer me" will not actually help you. If you're going to shout at me, I'm just going to start ignoring you. I don't know if my mods are still here, but I can easily get you put on timeout. I'm not. Let's all keep it civil here, ladies and gentlemen. And no, I haven't looked at the screenshots. I'm afraid. I could do that now, actually. I hope 40k film. That's on Reddit. Reddit doesn't have all the bloody images. I'm not going to watch somebody's video on the issue until one of the bloggers has it. Nope, that's just a video link. Oh, I can find it on Facebook. Right, I'm going to bookface that. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll quickly read the chat while I go. Merci, James. I'm glad to have people here. I love it. This is why I messaged my friendship group and basically said, gotta get some mods in. And it was like, yep, good. The pain glove was a full body suit. It wasn't a glove. Yeah. Yeah. Do I watch Rick and Morty? No. Short answer, no. Death of... if I saw it right, that was the name of the group. Nope. It was you guys, wasn't it? Wasn't that the name of the... wasn't that the name? No, it's not you. Death of Hope 40k. Posts. Do you not have like pages? No. This is taking too damn long. Abort. Just turned up. What have you missed? An hour and something's worth of stream. I can't catch you all up. Do you think Tower Empire should be made bigger in Lords of Judah? You wouldn't have to give them plot armor. Well, you can't expand them too much because their technology wouldn't work. Will the Ultra Smurfs ever be respected by the community? When they're walking all over everybody, they're only going to get more salt. Here are some screenshots. You're not going to be able to send them to me because I think links, unless you're a mod or me, are kind of banned. You're not allowed to put links unless you're a mod. Yeah, you've just realised. What's the site that they're on? Just tell me the site. And I will go and look at it. That might help. If they're like a compilation anywhere, if it's on Reddit or somewhere. Why are we making StarCraft jokes? I don't get it. Favorite book outside of 40k? Ooh, there's a question. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you because, well, I haven't had a chance to read much. That is what you get for that question. That is what you get. Oh, it's 300. I thought it was 30. Crap. View screenshots on their Facebook. I tried looking on their Facebook. I think I literally went looking for their page on Facebook and I couldn't find it. It was like, ah! Ah, here we go. Right. Hey, there we go. Found it. Oh, that was too much flipping faff. Ultramarine, ultramarine. Ultramarine? Interesting iconography. Yeah, ultramarine. That is a World Eater? Yeah, World Eater. Who's that? Or what is that? XIII. Okay, it's... Okay. That's an ultramarine. Okay. Anything else? That's an ultramarine fighting a World Eater. That is a dead pile. Okay. Sorry, I was away from the chat there. Favorite Eldar aspect shrine is probably the... Based on what they do, probably the Striking Scorpions, I think. Right. Yeah. Okay. I've now properly looked. Looks really good. I'm thinking Shadow Crusade. I'm thinking that's going to be Shadow Crusade because, well, it's World Eaters versus Ultramarines. It kind of has to be. I didn't see any word bearers to confirm it, but it certainly looks like Shadow Crusade to me. Interesting. What was your question? I've forgotten by this point. I have a terrible memory. Davian Fuel Dreadnought model. It would just be a Dreadnought. I don't really know how much more you could do with it. I forget what it actually looks like. Yos. And then that. Oh, that's too long. Right. I forgot. What to do. There we go. Sorry, I've now tweeted out about the playlist so people know it exists. Runlays doesn't hate Manchester, does he? News to me. Is there some list of how much different factions sell? No. I've been doing some reading on the Navigator gene, and it appears to be slightly affected by environment. Quite probable. In your lore, if in your lore series you would join Remlays, or if your lore series would get referenced in Remlays' story thing, I might end up in Quest for Knowledge. I can't say any more than that. How much it's going to tie my story into his, I don't know. I don't honestly know. Why does everyone hate Birmingham? Have you listened to the Brummy accent? If it's Shadow Crusade, we get an awesome scene involving Angron transforming into a Demon Prince. That depends on quite what the animators are up to. But maybe. Maybe. I don't take people out of timeout, I just left it. But yes, you're out of timeout now. What's the best pastry? Call me old-fashioned, but I really like croissants. They count as pastry, I suppose. Are they pastry? I think. Oh, do you mean pasty? Do you mean pastries or pasties? Because they kind of technically do separate things. Because pastry's a lot more broad than that. Oh, croissants are bread. Right. That's awkward. Well, choux pastry, probably, then, because profiteroles are like the best thing. Your French fans will castrate you for that. They'll get plenty of chance because I'm going to be living amongst them next year. Oh my god, there's quite a bit of latency on this stream. I'm not planning to get a tattoo. End of. I've not even thought about designs because, god, I'd never even get one. No, thank you. There is some serious latency between the stream and me, actually. That's intriguing. There wasn't this much latency on my other software. Output. I don't want to go anywhere. Hotkeys. Oh, there's hotkeys. You can plug in. Right. The language I'd like to learn, Italian. If I were to learn a third language, it would be Italian. What time does the stream end? What is it? 10 to 10? Well, I started streaming at about 9:24, so I started streaming about 7:30. I probably won't go all the way to 9:30 just because I'm not sure my parents are going to be in and I don't want to interrupt their evening when they come in. So I'll probably go to like 9:15, and then we'll call it. Yeah. Oh god, what the hell just happened there? Oops, refresh. I've never seen that before. I can't spell today. Kilted in ill-infringed. What do you think of the start of Star Wars Legion, a miniature game by Fantasy Flight? I've not really looked. Honestly, I have not looked. yeah, I quite like this little setup that I've got myself now. This completely impromptu setup. Shame I won't be making any more use out of it because I'm going to be out of here in a week. But hey, whatever. Just got in, see a stream, good day. How's Ovar's orbital palaces in Jupiter become fully void adapted? Yeah, the same with the Watercast. They can't live on planets anymore. The gravity's too high. I asked a question in the Dutch Army live stream, and a sergeant tried to say Robert Gilliam and laughed my ass. If you could write lore for any faction 40k, what would it be for and what would it be about? I wouldn't even want to try. If you notice, I'm terrible at writing lore. Have you had proper Mexican food? It's unforgiving if you're not used to it. Depends what you class as proper Mexican food. I've not been to Mexico, no. What date am I going to France? I am going off on the 3rd of September. 3rd of September is my departure date. So yeah, that's the thing. Ay, ay, ay. Do 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 do. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. What mine and Xenos would you make a faction, Ratgol or Hrud? I don't really know much about either of them, but eventually probably both if I could get my way. What's the one thing you're going to miss about England? I mean, the weather's going to be better. The language is probably nicer to listen to if you get used to it. Probably some of the food. Probably some of the food. Because I'm going to miss being able to just go for a chippy. Or whatever. The food's going to be a real culture shock. So probably the food. And I'm going to miss the people because I'm not going to be with my uni friends. So that's going to be a change. Not Tex-Mex. Not. I don't really know what you class as proper Mexican food because probably nobody. Yeah. Food greater than friends. Well, I don't see you guys for most of the year anyway. And when I'm home, I was running through a checklist, and yes, my uni friends are great. You've met some of them. You've met some of them. The uni friends are awesome, but I don't see them all the time, and I don't see my home friends all the time. Food is more of a constant, I suppose. Plus, it's going to be more annoying to do the podcast. I'm going to do it an hour later in the day, which is going to mean I'm going to have my dinner even later. Wow, rip. Or I'll have to have dinner really early. Oh, but I have lectures that go really late. Ooh, that could get awkward. You know they have fish and chips in France, right? Yeah, but come on. There's something about the English chippy. You know that. Do you know anybody in France who would be going in alone? I'm going alone. I've got friends going to Paris. I'm going to Grenoble. Other than that, I've got friends going to America and stuff. But there's only a couple of us going to France. Yes, I do have a point. I usually have a point. Half the time the point is wrong, but I always have a point. Wow, we're 9 o'clock. Okay, 20 minutes. All right. We're going to wrap up this stream, and we're going to do a live Q&A, proper Q&A. Go for it. Oh, God, I'm asking for trouble saying that. Go for it. If you try that again, I'm going to put you back in timeout. Why France? Languages. I've been studying French since I was 11, and I've kind of just got used to it. Yes. Unnervingly similar to Chernobyl. Grenoble, Chernobyl. No, I am not dabbing, not a chance. Where's the Tau that will die out to replace them with Farsight or others with the Imperial Chaos Tau? No, leave the Empire where they are. If you want to bring Farsight in integration, I don't know, it's up to you. Why don't I like sharing with Alexis? in a context, I'm going to just treat that into the cleanest context I can. Basically, I don't have a problem with sharing information with Alexis. I talk quite personally with Alexis. It's like we're on the opposite side of the world. Bear in mind. Oh god, this is not going to end well. What honestly got you started into Warhammer Games Workshop? I was coming home from band one night with a friend, our drummer in the band, and I was a massive Pokemon nerd at the time. I'd watched the Pokemon anime and I was a massive Pokemon nerd. And my friend, the drummer, was already playing Warhammer. And he basically said, take your most powerful legendary Pokemon, I have an Imperator Titan, and I stomp on them, haha. And it was like, oh my god, that sounds so much fun. And he just started talking to me about what the Titans were and what 40k was, and I was just hooked. That was it. That was it. Straight up. And that was the start. I then bought White Dwarf on the month that 5th edition came out. Yeah, hooked. Biggest hobby regret. I shouldn't have bought that Guard army. I shouldn't have bought Lord of the Rings. That was a waste of time. I wish I got better at painting faster because my orcs look garbage and I can't really repaint them because I've put too much paint on them already. Yeah, sorry. I should have watched Archer's video through. I shouldn't trust the comments. Did I watch the Helldra's audiobooks? No. No, I haven't had a chance. Thoughts on the Aspect Shrines? Cool, interesting idea, good concept. Don't know them too well. Grenoble is closer to Switzerland and Italy than Paris, right? Correct. No, my biggest regret is not playing orcs. That's not funny. I really enjoy my orcs. They're great fun. Aspect Warriors are as they should be. Yeah, probably true enough. No. Farsight would not be just allowed to ally with the Imperium. They just smash them. That's how it would work. Do they even do Lord of the Rings anymore? They've got the Hobbit game, which I suppose is the nearest thing. But yeah. What do you miss? You missed like an hour and a half of stream, and I can't recap it all. You'll have to watch it in post, I'm afraid. You missed a lot. How do you manage to specialise in killing marine equivalent armour? In the game they do, yeah. Drew the short straw. No. I was the first... Oh, well, maybe not the first. But I picked my army before I met half of you. Well, not half of you. Before I met a couple of you. And you played Orcs at the same time I did. You proxy Forge World Magnus for a Demon Prime up form in the game of 40k? No. I have no interest in playing him in 40k. How is Krieg doing? Nuclear fallout as ever. So, hell, as usual. Are they phasing the likenesses of actors out of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits so they don't have to pay royalties? I mean, they still put the trademarks on all the models they release, so they kind of have to. So there's only so much they can do. Have I tried using spirits for stripping minis? No, I haven't. I probably should, to be honest, but it's not top of my list of things to do. And you stopped very quickly. You mean after a year? The Lord of the Rings community is still quite big in the UK and Northern Europe if you know where to look. I never really got into it, though, so it was a bit of a waste of time for me. And I also don't know where to look. Anything else? This is the problem with having a long latency, because when the chat slows down for a second, you're kind of stuck waiting. Let's go to the Twitter sphere and see what's there. Not much. No. Would you like it if GW allowed other companies' figures or parts to be used in store? No. What would be the point? If you want to have like registered like sort of dedicated people to do the spares, like what's the point? If they wanted other people's figures in their stores, then they'd make them in a position where they could. They'd rather have it on their own stuff because it's their trademark at the end of the day. Favorite Imperial not Space Marine character? Ironhand Strachan. No, I will not do that. Favorite Lord of the Rings mini was Aemma, I think. Aemma was one of my favourites. I really liked Aemma. Do you watch anime? No, not really. I don't really watch anything anymore. 40k or AoS? I do prefer 40k right now. 8th edition is a bit more refined than Age of Sigmar, but hopefully with the new General's Handbook, I'll be able to get back into playing and enjoying AoS all over again. Hopefully. But then again, I'm going to be away for a while and then stuff, and yeah. I kind of don't have the motivation for AoS right now. Because like my armies haven't been redone and I'm playing against Bloodbound all the time, and Bloodbound are really good. Or at least it feels like they're really good. So I kind of don't have the motivation for AoS, but yeah. As you get older, they feel older than you are. I've always kind of been more... I'm usually quite mature. I generally... Some people have always said I've been way too grown up even when I was younger. But hey, whatever. Do you hate Chaos? No, I'm not particularly a fan of it, but I don't hate it. Marbo or Yarrick? Yarrick was my next pick. Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones? I've never seen anything to do with Game of Thrones. Rules for Mini Wargaming, Deathwatch, Character in Line, 40k games. If you want to fan play it, then why not? But I don't think it'll ever become canonical. Have I got a Discord? No, mainly because I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. I'm very bad at keeping up and communicating. You've noticed I'm very quiet on Twitter. So, yeah, no. Group of Chaos Space Marines when mutated knockoff Skaven, would that be a blessing of Zinch or Nurgle? Zinch. Bonsoir, ça va? Pas mal, merci. Et toi? Also, bonsoir is one word. It's not two. Deathwatch is Orky Space Marines. Also that. I can't believe I've been this drink last the entire stream. And the Skaven in 40k? No. Short answer. And our striker's that Colonel from Katachan who's not lost Primarch or lost Yarrick, who lives in Armageddon in his Baneblade. The Fortress of Arrogance was lost. I don't know if they got it back. Bloodbound is solid. The elves are a limited army in terms of movement and new models at the moment. Yes, they are. Am I in a Discord? Yeah, I'm in Alexis's, but I barely ever use it. Can't help you with your battery. Find a charger. 2 years of French at school, only remember to say my name. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it since I was 11 and I'm now nearly 21, so. Favourite beer or one? I don't drink alcohol. Believe it or not, I do not drink alcohol, so I have none. Do you believe Yarrick and or Marbo can be a perpetual like Vulcan? I've heard stupider ideas, given that Yarrick has refused to die to anything, but I find it unlikely. Because they haven't really introduced any perpetuals in a while. Ooh. Minor crick in my neck. Whatever. Phoenix Law versus Primarch. Primarch wins every time. Just look at the stats and that's dead obvious. Like, put Gilliman up against the Sermon and, yeah. Favourite drink generally? Probably just like Fanta Orange or something like that. Is Yarrick the secret third? Oh god, no. Aside from using it, I might very, very slowly update you on the Stormcast, as you wish. I mean, I'm barely ever in Alexa's Discord. I don't even like check its notifications, so if I get a mention, then maybe. But I barely use it because I don't really have a lot to say. I'm very quiet at communicating. I'm very bad for that. If it were based on activity, I shouldn't get 10,000 subscribers. Hey. How annoyed do you think Angron was after being stomped on by a Titan? It was Angron. Answer is it was Angron. Right, last 5 or so minutes. Have at it. Another Primarchs mirror one another. Well, kinda. Oops. Alpharius, Magnus, Drag Tycon, and Conrad Kurz. They don't always mirror each other on personality. Look at the thing called the iconostasis. That generally tries to reflect them off against each other. Sort of like their main like rivalry or the most similar to them. So Magnus pairs off with Russ in a way. Although you could also pair Russ off with Angron. If you want to pair Magnus off, you could look at Sanguinius maybe. Not sure. Is Tyranid meat edible? I can't remember. Maybe. Tu vas boire du vin en France? Non, je n'ai pas d'intention de boire du vin en France, mais si je dois, je ne veux pas voir pourquoi pas. Probablement pas, mais peut-être. Is the Emperor alive only because the orcs believe he is alive? No. Least favourite food? Mussels, probably. The seafood. Have I fought Dark Elder on 8th edition? No. Transport to the 4th Vertical Universe, what would be your survival strategy? I'd be dead by the moment I touch down because I'm not a religious person, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, dead on sight. Well, almost. Too much trying to think forward and use science, and no. Will I do a stream in all French? Oh god. Maybe. At the end of the year, maybe. Like in May, when I finish my exams before I go home, I might do a stream in May or June where I just talk in French. Will you do a vid on the Emperor? Watch this space. Watch this space, that is all I will say. Will Primaris Marines replace Standard Marines in the lore? It's very possible. I don't know if I could say yes or no either way, but it's certainly possible. Will we all die if the Butcher's nails were implanted into the Hulk doesn't exist? I'm not French and that question was straining my high school French. Yes, I can understand. Do a stream in Pig Latin? No, I don't speak Latin. I don't speak Latin or any bastardization of Latin. Well, French is technically a bastardization of Latin, I suppose. Ow. If my French gets good enough to hold up a stream, I might well, but I make no promises. Have you been to Warhammer World? Yes, I went there once. I went there once a few years ago. It was pretty cool, I have to say. I didn't really get to see much of it, but it was pretty cool. Will Primaris Marines silently fade away? Extremely unlikely. Victoria out Mortis. Victory or death? Or victory and death? Victory or death, it's got to be. Favourite character? Farsight or Wazdaka or Magnus? Said this already. Arwe Dominant. Is it Arwe or Arve? I always say Arwe because Fallout New Vegas, but Arve Dominus Nox, yeah. Yeah. I would pay you not to do a stream in French. Well, it's a shame I don't have a Patreon or Super Chat, so you couldn't pay me anyway. Like I say, doing a French stream is highly unlikely. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I might do it hilariously one time. Victory or death, yeah. I thought it was something like that. La victoire ou la mort, as I would use. Why do the Mechanicus hate progression beyond plot convenience? They're not against it. It's just like they don't like deviating from STCs. I think that's probably a better way of putting it. Okay. So it is 21:12 by my watch at the time of me saying this. By the time you've seen it, it'll be a little bit further. I forget what Arwe Dominus Nox actually means. It's gone out of my head. Like, praise be to the Lord of the Night? Something like that? Would you do that as podcasts in French? No, because Alexis and Remlays don't speak French. Anywho, so yeah, I'm gonna call it a night here. We've been going for an hour and 3/4. It's been a good stream. Been good talking with everybody and having a lot of interaction and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I really hope it's been good. This is the last stream before France. It's the last one. So in 9 days, I'm gonna be out of the country. Est-ce que je suis prêt? Je sais pas, mais peut-être. So thank you all for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. And the next time we do this, at the very least, I'll probably be on the continent. So take care, everyone. Hope you've had a good stream. Enjoy the rest of your day, or your evening, or your morning, whatever time of the world it is for you. Thank you very much, and goodbye.